Hi everybody, and welcome to your new moon pick a card reading for August 16th, 2023. It's happening around 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's in sidereal Cancer at the critical degree of 29 degrees. This puts it in the third decan of Cancer, and there's a very interesting parallel here, I think, with the February 5th full moon. I did a reading for that, and I posted a lot of information on the third decan of Cancer, as well as the nakshatra. So I'm going to link that video below if you want to go back and check out that information, because the moon is in the same location. It's at 29 degrees Cancer instead of 22 degrees. So the only difference in Vedic astrology is that it's in the fourth pada instead of the second. So every nakshatra is broken down into 4 sections. So this is now in the fourth one, which is ruled by Pisces and Jupiter. Anyway, this full moon is also, or this new moon is also squaring Uranus, just like the full moon did back February 5th. And that can be that's when the sun and the moon were both making a T-square with Uranus, a 90-degree angle, and now this time we have the sun and moon together making a 90-degree angle with Uranus, which can be sudden upsets. It can be disturbances, floods, hurricanes, earthquakes. We had that massive Turkey earthquake on February 5th and 6th, right around that full moon. So I'm looking for potential natural disasters, the unexpected, which is Uranus. It's upset, and there is actually also a grand fire trine going on in this new moon. It's between Uranus and Aries. Pluto is in Sagittarius, and then we have Mars and Mercury are conjunct at the very last degrees of Leo. So that means this new moon is also technically conjunct Mars and Mercury, but it's about 5 degrees away. We also have the third decan of Cancer. It's the same last 10 degrees of Cancer. With Venus retrograde, it could have to do with emotional insecurity or feeling insecure in general, with Uranus creating upsets in things. People might be emotionally unstable, might have emotional storms. They might be reactive or very sensitive. So watch out for people, especially with Mars conjunct Mercury. People may have very harsh words. They might make aggressive statements, or maybe trying to instill fear. Also, with the fourth pada of the lunar nakshatra, which is Ashleisha, it's number 9 out of 27. It has to do with Pisces and Jupiter. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, planet of dreams, can be deception also. And with Jupiter there expanding that, it could be an increase in deception. And what I find, I was just doing some research on the weather upcoming in the tropics, and there could be a tropical wave forming off the coast of Africa where they tend to generate. And if that happens, it's supposed to be Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. It could be on during the new moon. It could give birth to this hurricane. It has like a 30% chance of forming. It's way too soon. But wouldn't that be ironic, if it had the next 2 weeks to move across the Atlantic and then create some kind of flooding or destruction in the United States? And if it is named a storm, it would be called Emily. And Emily comes from the Latin word Aemilius, which means wily and persuasive. Now, tomorrow, because we have this nakshatra is ruled by Mercury. Mercury has to do with finance and trade and business. And so if you are doing business tomorrow, be careful. Don't sign any contracts or start new things, because that person could be deceptive. Mercury is the god of deception. He's a trickster. But he's also, so it has to do with the symbol of the snake. The nakshatra of Ashleisha has to do, and Mercury's staff. Mercury is Hermes, has the staff of Hermes with the 2 snakes intertwined. Has to do with healing also. So there is an opportunity for emotional healing, but as well as deception. So with this hypnotizing kind of state, you think about in the Middle East where they play the flute and they have the snake that rises out of the basket, and it's like hypnotic. It's hypnotizing the snake. You also have that character Kaa, if you ever saw the movie The Jungle Book, whose eyes were like swirling, and he was trying to hypnotize the main character into Mowgli into following him. But or somebody can be even described as a snake. Has to do with deception, and even taking it back to the Garden of Eden, being the original deceiver there. So don't fall for the narrative. If there's an expanded illusion because of Pisces and Jupiter being activated here over the next week or two, then that could be something that we see. We also have Mars moving into Virgo on August 18th, and that's going to be pushing this fear surrounding health, because Virgo is the 6th house of health and healing. So you might see those narratives on the rise again, trying to scare people into submission or conformity or following orders. So, and we just saw all this destruction on Hawaii with fire, and now we have this grand fire trine happening for this new moon. So anyway, I will put timestamps for each of these piles, but if you want to choose picking one of these 3 alchemy cards that I have, number 31 is sugar for pile number 1. Number 2 is spring, number 17. And pile 3 is calcification, number 64. All right, so I'll see you in your selected pile. Starting with pile 1. I'll incorporate this at the end of the reading. Get these out of the way. We have your Queen of the Moon card, our Goddess Guidance, and our angels and ancestors, and then we have 3 tarot cards here. So let's start with our lunar card. We have the Path, number 8. So this is August, the 8th month in the Gregorian calendar. So we have a rising and elevation, following your true calling, your purpose, your path. It looks like a very rickety ladder though there. Things may be difficult to keep your balance in the process emotionally. You have to set the ladder on firm ground in order to reach the next phase. So you have to master the base level before you can ascend into this higher purpose here, going from the dark to the light, from the unknown to the known. So let's read about the Path, number 8. The 8th card in the tarot is also the Leo card, Strength. So the path is, the way is open for you, the path is illuminated, begin the journey now, respond and take action. We must be courageous and move forward. I am open and responsive to the opening of the way. So you could be putting yourself on a new path or a new spiritual path in the coming days, or with this new moon, if that's your intention, to set yourself upon your destined path. Maybe you guys are getting realigned, you're getting back on track after feeling like you've been derailed or rerouted for quite some time. The path is lit, and now is the time to walk upon it. The companion stone or metal is pyrite, which is fool's gold, but I can equate that to, turning something fake into real, some fake gold into a real gold. And our angel or goddess guidance card is Ma'at, fairness. So this is like the Queen of Swords, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. We have the scales there, the scales of fairness, where in the afterlife in the Egyptian mythology, they weigh your heart against a feather and see if you are pure enough to pass into the afterlife. So the situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. We have the moon that'll be moving into Libra by the end of the week, by the 21st. And so that could be an emotional decision that you've been weighing. Something's been weighing heavy on your heart. Maybe there's something that you need to get off your chest, or somebody else is in that position and they can come to you with this communication. Because the air sign being there. Moon in Libra is also the Two of Swords in tarot, so having to make again a decision, left or right. Maybe that's the problem with the path. Not knowing which way to go. Following your head or your heart. The head being the feather, the mind, the air, or the heart being the emotion, the waters. So the waters are being emphasized here at this new moon, since it's taking place at the critical degree, the 29th degree of Cancer, the final phase. So, and that's why, in the Two of Swords, she's sitting by the body of water. She's trying to get closer to her emotions. Maybe there's been too much overthinking in a certain situation, having to ground yourself and get back to the core of a matter, core of a situation, your core beliefs, the truth of who you are with Ma'at. Okay, and with your angels and ancestors, there's the feather, the guardian angel. You are not alone. Okay, wow. So the feathers, you might be seeing a lot of white feathers. If you are, picking them up, following their trail, a path of white feathers. So know that you're in the presence of your guides, your protectors, your angels. So you're not alone. There's even the eye, the sun, and the moon there making a trine. I spoke of the grand fire trine happening during this new moon in the intro. I think your guides, your higher voice, this clarity, again, this elevated sense of knowing, gnosis, awareness within, listen to your inner voice. It's going to guide you through the deception that may be present on these external sources. Again, like I mentioned, some of you might have been feeling misled lately, like you were pulled astray, someone distracted you, took you off course, and now there's like a higher calling. There's a clarity that's coming in with this that's going to redirect you and get you back on the tracks. These even look like train tracks to me. I know like there's been a lot of derailments in the news in the last year, but still we're getting back on track. And maybe it's been hard. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be, because that might be what this epiphany is that comes through this new moon. This realization, what have I been doing with my time? With my energy, have I been distracted, been pulled away somewhere? So forgive yourself and put focus and get yourself motivated to go back in the direction that you're feeling led to do, and without listening to the lies of others surrounding you. Your heart knows, your inner soul knows. So the message is, watch for signs and reminders from your angels and loved ones that they are close by. Remember, they are working hard to guide you. The guardian angel card shows a white feather that has become known as the guardian angel's business card. Whenever a white feather appears in your life, or this card appears in a reading, it's a message to say your guardian angel and ancestor guides are particularly close at this time, and they're there to support you with their love. If you have asked for help with a particular situation, know that there is a divine intervention in the works, and that could be with Ma'at too. The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. They'll make sure that there is justice for you. Everyone has a guardian angel who has been with them in all their past lifetimes and will be there in all lifetimes to come. So know that you are never alone and never will be alone. This card is a huge reminder that there is always help to support available to you. Your guardian angel is with you now, and they're here to aid you in all of your endeavors. In order to fully receive their support, first ask for it, then surrender to the process. Know that whatever unfolds will be for your highest good. Okay, so I just heard sacrifice too. So that you might be asked to sacrifice something that has, maybe made you comfortable or kept you in those lower chakras of satisfaction. Know it's for your highest good, that you have to sacrifice a certain pattern or behavior or addiction or something that needs to lighten your soul. It's been holding you back, and maybe you know it on a subconscious level. And, Okay, so let's see what your tarot cards have. The Four of Orbs, the Four of Swords. Okay, so rest, reflection, peace. So this person is sitting by a body of water. I even mentioned that in the Two of Swords traditional deck. Getting in touch with your emotions, the deep emotions, the ones that don't see the light of day, where the light of the sun doesn't reach those deep depths of the ocean. Maybe that's why I heard the word sacrifice too, because the Hanged Man card, he hangs over the body of water, as Odin sacrificed himself for higher knowledge and wisdom. So the Four of Swords, though, is rest and peace. After a period of turmoil, the Three Swords that usually hang above the figure as he's laying in a tomb. So there's some relief. Again, a burden or weight being lifted off your shoulders. Next we have the Adept of Chalices. So the Knight of Cups. Okay, so emotional, like conquering your fears too. Just being steady, clear-headed in a sea of emotion. Not drowning in your emotions, but rising up out of it. It's interesting that this figure, if you're a swimmer, you know about it. This is the stroke called the butterfly. So he's flying out. They have wings, much like the feathers here, being shown between air and water. So you might have a lot of those placements or influences in your chart. But butterflies are also a symbol of transformation. So change from maybe a victim stance to someone who's more independent, strong, confident, healed. You gain confidence through the wounds that you heal. Knowing, and this could be you reflecting on all the challenges that you have been overcome in the past with the Three of Swords, everything that's broken your heart or your dreams, But you still hold this one sword tight to you, the sword of truth, to cut through the BS all around you, the distractions, cutting ties, cutting people or habits or patterns out of your reality tunnel, so you can move forward, so you can fly. And the knights in the deck, they're an evolution. They're a step up from the page. The page is the novice. The adept is somebody who has experience, who is evolving, who is elevating themselves in the emotional game, gaining control over their emotions, rather than, see, he's navigating these seas, right? And not being, the wave is going to miss him. It's going to maybe wrap around him, but it's not crashing on him. It's crashing beyond him. He's moved out of the way. Okay. Finally, we have indigo. So this is the Magician card, Mercury. So again, I mentioned we are moving into Virgo in tropical timing. So Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. And we had the air signs show up here as well. And also Mars, the planet of action, taking control in the sign of Virgo on August 18th. So he's holding a diamond. So the diamond in the rough, we mentioned the pyrite here in the path was the accompanying stone. Taking that pyrite or that fool's gold, that charcoal, under this pressure, under these tests. Because I mentioned there was a judgment, right? With the scales of judgment here. These are your guides testing you, judging you, pushing you to the limits of what your soul can withstand, what your heart and soul can withstand. It's only making you shine brighter. That is the definition of alchemy right there. Turning lead into gold, turning coal into diamonds. Indigo is also the color of the third eye, Anja chakra. So again, that mental clarity that comes through as you cut your way out of the weeds, out of the darkness. There's a lot of truth. I think you're going to be hit with a lot of truth come through this new moon. The blindfold's being taken off. You know, normally justice is pictured as blind. But this truth is she's not blind here. It's been revealed. And having the strength and the courage to embrace that truth is what's going to help you heal. Okay, so let's take a look at your sugar card here. Sacrum. It sounds like sacral, sacred, the sacral chakra. But I know like saccharides are sugars in chemistry. So anyway, 31. And 31 is the 11th prime, and the 11th major arcana is justice. So again, a Libra could be important to you as well, or the season of Libra when we approach that. Okay, and that would be the fall equinox in tropical timing, but about a month later in sidereal. So mid-October. We do have that new moon solar eclipse happening October 14th. That could be very well be in Libra, or the last degrees of Virgo. Okay, so 2 months. There's a 2-month time frame here. I think a lot of rapid evolution and change is coming through your life. But let's read about sugar. Sugar, it's like, you know, it's a carbon-based molecule. It's what we need for energy, what we need for life, movement forward. It's what our brains crave. Maybe that's the addiction or whatever that you've been subject to. Something you have to cut out of your life. So sacred sweetness, pleasure, and attraction is the name of the card. Oh, how sugar dances on the tongue. No matter how intellectual and scholarly our pursuits, sugar reminds us of our longing for simple pleasures. Until the 12th century, our need for sweetness, it is, after all, one of the 5 essential tastes of Ayurveda, was fulfilled by raw honey offered by the bees. This material had many medicinal properties and was known in alchemy as a sacred elixir. Now, most of our sources of sweetness, both literally and metaphorically, are highly processed, defined for us by a culture of consumption. This card is a call to explore the simple sweetness in life. Can you add tenderness to your alchemical experiment? How about joy, or even laughter? It is likely the pleasure you crave will not be found from manufactured means, but from the childlike wonder in the heart. And here we have this indigo child pictured on the magician card in this deck. And Leo rules the child, right? We have the sun going into Leo on August 17th, so the day after this new moon. The sun is moving into Leo. All right, so remember the alchemical wisdom of like attracts like. Okay, so the side notes say pleasure is healing in and of itself. What is the simplest, most feasible means of joy you can participate in today? It does not have to be big and boisterous. Joy is everywhere. So simple pleasures. What is something you can do to bring joy to your life every day? And you'll notice, of course, it'll have a ripple effect on those around you. The more joyous you are, the more satisfied you are internally, is going to resonate and affect those around you. And your sweetness, your sugar, you bringing that to your relationship is going to attract more sweet people to your life and help them have a good day too. Maybe that's part of your path. Your purpose is spreading your sweetness. One of sugar's physical attributes is stickiness. See how this concept affects the cards within the reading and the personalities involved. Attachment rarely serves. Okay, so I did mention a sword, a cutting ties. So if there's something, and sugar can be toxic, it can be a poison. So if something is overly attached to you, it can be unhealthy. It can come out of balance here with the scales. Could be a partnership or relationship with Venus retrograde. You could be, again, reevaluating the value that people bring to your life or take from your life. All right. So that's all I have for you, pile one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to check out another pile, you may do so at this time. Otherwise, I'm wishing you a beautiful new moon, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile two. You chose spring number 17. We'll get that incorporated by the end of the reading. But first, we're going to start with your Queen of the Moon Oracle card. We have creation, the beaver moon, number 39. So this is a full moon. That's a beautiful sign. The creativity that comes in the sign of Leo, the 5th house of creativity, pleasure, childlike, fun, ingenuity. So we have the sun moving into Leo on August 17th in sidereal astrology. So this could be the beginning of a new creation for you. You could be working on a new project. Looks like there's plans for a building, like architectural drawings, designing, creating a new foundation for your life, metaphorically or even physically. You could be drawing up plans for a new idea. And the spring is the first, well, not in alchemy, but it's the birth. It's a beginning of new life. Okay, so let's read about the creation card. You can create your own destiny, be industrious. Every creature on earth creates. You should welcome the process of creation, save money and time, have a reserve. I am a mighty creator or creatrix. It is my birthright to create. There's a good reason for saying busy as a beaver, for the beaver is truly an industrious animal. Not only do they create sophisticated architectural lodges, their semi-submersible homes, but they change the course of rivers and waterways through strategic damming. They create new environments for themselves and other animals. Like the beaver, we too can create with industriousness and vigor. Everyone is creative, not just those who are considered to be creative, such as artists, designers, musicians, and writers. We all can be encouraged to think more creatively, to solve problems outside of square solutions, to invent new ways, and to imaginatively break new trails. This moon is the moon of taking action. Our northern hemisphere ancestors at this time would be preparing for winter. They would be preserving food, preparing skins, gathering medicines, strengthening their homes if they are not nomadic, and preparing to move to better hunting grounds if they are. Anyone who didn't work hard at this time would likely suffer greatly, for it was when winter came. The time to take action is now. The companion stone or metal is chrysoprase. So I just got this image. I don't know if you remember that story about the ant and the grasshopper was, screwing around the whole summer and having fun and not taking anything seriously, but the ants were hard at work. So be an ant, be industrious, be prepared. Maybe you're making plans as such to prepare for a harsh winter or difficult or leaner times, but it never hurts to have a plan, an evacuation route maybe for some of you. If you may be in the path of a natural disaster, I brought that up in the intro with the increased likelihood of that, because it's really interesting how the sun and moon are squaring Uranus again this time, just like they did February 5th and 6th when we had that huge earthquake in Turkey. So go back and watch that. I have a link below for that February 5th and 6th if you want to read about or listen to the astrology and symbolism of that. Okay, now we're going to get into your goddess guidance. We have Guinevere, true love. The romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. So love could be blossoming. Again, we do have Venus retrograde, reevaluating, evaluating your worth, your self-worth, self-love, and physical property even. Feeling if there's any feelings of insecurity. This is, again, I feel that preparation phase that you're trying to solidify for yourself. But let's see how that connects to the rest of the reading here. Angels and ancestors, water guardian, connect with your emotions. Okay, perfect time. For this new moon, we have, again, at the 29th degree of Cancer. It's the critical degree of a water sign. People might be feeling emotionally insecure. But if you are in a long-term relationship, it may be tested at this time. But I mean, perhaps these lean times or adverse events are what's testing you, what's triggering you. And it's only meant to challenge the status of the love you have with this person. If it's not true love, then it may fall apart. It may be taken back. Take your lessons and learn from it. But if you're with your true love, these challenges are only going to bring you closer. A lot of empathy exchange between the both of you. Knowing how it feels to be in the other person's shoes. Connecting not with just your emotions, but their emotions, because they're one and the same. See about the water guardian. Okay, take time to understand how you really feel. Know that your sensitivity is not a curse, but a gift that allows you to receive and understand messages directly from your soul. Water is the element that is in your blood, your tears, and your flesh. The water guardian represents angels of water who can help you dive within and understand the depth of your emotions. These angels are all about helping you see that your emotions aren't just the feelings that are on the surface. They are also the old emotions you may have locked deep within the shadows of your soul. Through helping you acknowledge your deepest emotions, the angels of water help you hear the messages we have for you and to unlock the intuitive powers and the energies of abundance. Your angels want you to know that it's okay to feel the emotions that are surfacing in you at this time. It doesn't matter if they are joyous or sad. They are all powerful messages that allow you to understand what you want and need. Taking time to breathe and acknowledge them lets them flow through you rather than crashing down on you as an overwhelming wave. Note that there are also intuitive psychic messages arising in you at this time, and unless you acknowledge everything as it comes up, you may miss important guidance that can lead you to support and love. Okay, so with this true love, it could be, again, a very supportive person. They could be a water sign or have strong placements there, like Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Pluto, even in a water sign. But this person, if they are in your life already, it is a true love partner, and they are emotionally supportive. They support your dreams, your creations, your ideas. Here, the full moon is like superimposed on this figure's forehead. Like they're projecting that out with their third eye. Their vision becomes a reality here in the drawings. So that is true love. True love is support. Someone who supports your vision, your ideas. This woman, even though her arms almost look like they would be cradling a baby. And water is life. We live in the waters of our mother's womb. Some of you could be coming together to create new life through the waters of true love. And spring is birth. It's a rebirth, right? Let's take a look at your tarot. Here we have the Three of Chalices or the Three of Cups. So a celebration. Again, you could be celebrating a birth or a wedding, a baby shower for some of you. But there's a lot to be thankful for. It could be somebody's birthday this month, the next 30 days. Or you could just be traveling or meeting up with people that you enjoy some vacation with. Like I said, the season of Leo, starting August 17th in sidereal. Time for fun, relaxation. Could be going on a boat. Okay. Next we have the higher self. Number 2, the high priestess. So I get more images of traveling over water or being in touch again with those deep emotions that the water guardian was talking about, helping you get in touch with your subconscious. Could be really feeling in sync with these lunar cycles. There's going to be a lot of, again, this true love. It's like keep getting this image of emotion pouring out. It's what the new moon at this critical degree of Cancer is showing us. These deep emotions are coming to the surface. They're rising up and spilling out. But I think people will be attracted to that. It feels more like tears of joy, happiness, celebration. But also there's a feeling of peace. I mean, when things are up, you know, just the natural swing of energy going from highs and lows in life. So if you're experiencing this high, that's the best time. You have the most resources available to prepare for the lows. Okay, and finally we have the 10 of Orbs or the 10 of Swords. Well, that could be the lows, right? That you know things are good now, but you have this inner knowing that, you know, nothing great lasts forever, and there will be, again, ups and downs. It could be in a relationship, happy times, the sad times. And even though she's holding this scroll right in the middle, usually the priestess is showed with the 2 pillars, much like the Justice card. It's like she's holding the relationship in the balance. Someone's your rock, you're their rock. They can depend on you to keep them even, their emotions, like, or emotional recovery in a time of chaos. Could be Gemini, Pisces, Virgo. Okay, I'm going to read about the spring card here and keep this integrated here. Safety net. Someone's, you know, a safety net for you, or vice versa. I mean, that's true love too. I mean, if you love, what do they say? Oh, if you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Somebody does love you at your worst. Okay. It would help if I could. There we go. Blossoming, becoming, the horizon. When spring arrives, our eyes lift from the work and we peer out the window of our laboratory. We realize Earth has been in its own transformation spin, readying itself for a new era of growth. In a state of wonder, the alchemist sets aside the work of winter and opens the door, stepping into spring. When this card arrives, it indicates a blossoming, a coming into one's own. It's generation time. You may be dreaming up a business plan, so generating these plans, right? Humming a new melody or flirting with a special someone. Spring is the season of the east where the sun rises and lights the world. You do not have to work on anything during this phase. Let the energy of the season push through. You made it through winter and the bulbs burst on their own. So this feminine energy too of receptivity with the cups, the water, and earth are receptive elements. The high priestess sits between the pillars. She's the gatekeeper. She's right in the flood zone, right? Things wash over her. Knowledge just comes to her. It rises up in her knowing, in her being. So there's no more struggle here with the 10 of Swords. The doing, the chasing, the scraping, all that preparation has been done. So now you're ready to put your energy elsewhere, into creation. Spring has a what's next quality to it. Sit in stillness and envision the horizon. Sit with the image until it shifts and you see something coming your way. Buds and grasses push up and out during spring. The season has a driving momentum to it, so keep an eye out for impatience, anger, or pushiness. Okay, well, that's something also that could be showing up at this new moon, that volatility. So other people may be coming at you with that aggressiveness. Remember to stay centered in your own. Stay in your own lane. Be unmoved by other people's emotions around you. Okay. And I think that is all I have for you for this reading. Pile 2, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye. All right, Pile 3, welcome. You chose calcification, Number 64, we'll integrate that at the end of the reading. But first we're going to start with your Queen of the Moon Oracle, and we have self-love. Number 6. Okay, so that's giving me vibes of the Venus retrograde, turning inward, appreciating and loving all that you are, all that you've been through and become. Some of you could be revisiting the topic of self-love or reevaluating how you've been treating yourself lately, or maybe it's time to take a time out, a spa day, something to treat yourself. So the book reads, Radical self-love is necessary. Empowerment starts from the inside out. Do not compare yourself to others. Start your change with focus and love of self. Every day I bring radical self-love to body, mind, and spirit. Sometimes we feel we are not enough. Sometimes we are even told we are not enough by our own voice, the voices of others and our culture. Not smart enough, not pretty enough, not powerful enough, nothing. As a result, all this makes us not love ourselves enough. Then there's the opposite. We're too something. Too tall, short, fat, thin, wrinkly, pimply, old, young, too quiet, too mouthy, noticeable, or opinionated. Too much. Wonder if any of us feel such self-loathing or dissatisfaction with the self. Just stop, put your blinkers on and breathe. Be with yourself, do ritual, speak to the goddess or whatever energy floats your boat, and ask for help. Yes, indeed, listen to any and all the crazy misdemeanors that your mind may throw at you, but then hug these untruths like a crying puppy and soothe the reasons they are there. Know that you are doing the best you can right now and that you are not your past, and you can soothe yourself, and most importantly, you can move on. Know that this comparison craziness is just a diversion from knowing yourself really well and discovering amazing, delicious aspects of yourself that are entirely satisfying. Focus on you, not others, and discover where you really might like to change, if anywhere or anything, for your own personal benefit, not from the outside measures of enoughness. True power and happiness comes from the inside out like an unfurling spiral. Woe is the person who relies on the opinions of others to gain happiness and self-measure. Choose radical self-love. Choose you. The companion stone or metal is rose quartz. So the nice pink, lovely quartz that resonates with the heart chakra. And next, for our goddess guidance, we have Cordelia. Go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. So outside your comfort zone, too. Some of you may have been secluded indoors. Maybe self-loathing, turning that into self-love. Some kind of depression, it almost feels like. We tend to isolate ourselves. But you can still isolate outside. You don't have to be with other people just when you're outside. But getting in touch with nature. There's a lot of flowers blooming around here, a crown of flowers. Putting your toes in the sand. It looks like there's water, too, connecting there. Yeah, the ocean, perhaps. Some of you can spend time near bodies of water. It's very cleansing and grounding. Mud baths, even part of that self-love ritual. Just that could be your only way to connect with the earth. That's fine. You're getting the minerals on your skin and absorbing that energy through your skin. Okay, next we have our angels and ancestors, the moon. Take note of intuitive messages. So pile 3, you're probably the most feminine pile of the 3 that I've read for today, which is not a negative or judgmental thing. It's just, or that's the energy that you should be embodying at this time. The new moons are typically quiet, dark, inward, reserved, focusing inward rather than outward, like a full moon is radiant. The in moon, you're drawing in new power, new energy. So this also connects with the High Priestess card, or Cancer or Pisces, more water signs, feminine energies, and intuitive energies. So the message is, use your intuition, practice discernment, see through illusions and blockages. I did mention in the intro with the astrology, this new moon is in the 4th pada of the 9th nakshatra in Vedic astrology, and the 4th pada is ruled by Pisces and Jupiter, which is an expansion of dreams or illusions. So you can use your intuition to navigate. The more sure of yourself you are, the more you know yourself, the less influenced you're going to be by outsiders or outside opinions, people that want to persuade or deceive you. So this is the more you love yourself, the more you know yourself, the stronger you'll be in your knowing and in your intuition. The moon is strongly associated with the divine feminine and energy of receiving. If the sun is God, the moon is goddess, and so she offers a powerful energy of polarity and balance. She has a cyclic energy and is therefore strongly connected to emotions, which often come and go in waves, and to somewhat interesting behavior. So when the moon appears in a reading, you are often being told that not everything is as it seems. The moon has a dark side, just dark, not negative, and can show you what you've been kept in the dark about. The lunar energies are surrounding your life, allowing you to understand what is standing in your way. Not everything is as it seems, and you're being guided to use your discernment. When the moon appears, intuitive or psychic urges are increased, so take note of any feelings arising at this time. They are messages from your soul and angels. The moon shines her light on all that has been kept in the dark, so ask yourself if you are avoiding anything or refusing to deal with something of importance. If so, it could be holding you in the shadows when your destiny is to be in the light. If this card appears when you feel someone isn't being completely real with you, know that their intentions will be revealed to you. The moon has no secrets. She reveals all. Okay, so our tarot cards here, beginning, we have the Ace of Chalices, the Ace of Cups, so more water imagery, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, receptivity. This is also pure love, true love, right? The fact that it's under self-love. Fill your own cup before you can share it with others. Make sure you're taking that time out to refill your emotions, to recharge your batteries, to receive love as much as you give it or more so than you give, so your cup never runs dry. Next we have Reason. So this is number 4, the Emperor. So we have all this goddess energy above and we have the Emperor below. So master of your own destiny, controller. So the Emperor is Aries too, taking charge, a fire sign. We have Uranus in Aries right now. That's part of this grand trine in fire that's creating this new moon. That's present during this new moon, I'm sorry, because we have Mars and Mercury in Leo, we have Uranus in Aries, and then we have Pluto in Sagittarius. So there is this creative burning fire energy, a lot of masculine fire involved. I just got this image of like a tea kettle or a pot of water boiling on the stove with this Ace of Cups. Whenever the tea's ready, right, the steam rises out and creates a whistling noise. So maybe it's a time to, drink tea, reflect, reason, come up with reason, being ruled by reason rather than emotion, or making reasonable, rational decisions for yourself rather than emotional ones. Or you could be coming up with, again, with the moon illuminating reasons behind why someone did something or acted a certain way or why certain things happened to you. This could be you coming up with structured, rational explanations for that, or those being revealed to you by other people, perhaps a masculine energy. And finally, we have the Adept of Flames. So here's more fire coming to finish out our reading. So that is the Knight of Wands, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. So fire is creation. We do have the sun moving into the fire sign of Leo on the 17th, the next day. It's almost like, again, I felt like this depression, kind of like staying inside with the windows, the curtains drawn. And this is like pulling you out. Now that the sun's going to be in Leo, it's going to like light a fire under your butt and you're going to go. And this is the only alchemy card that I pulled that was bright red like this too. It has almost a flame imagery in the middle there. Some fire burning inside of you, or you getting in touch with your own personal flame through the self-love, again, through knowing yourself, finding that light inside you has not been extinguished by the emotions or drama of others or deceptions or lies of others. There's still a core, a truth at your core in your solar plexus, which is yellow here, lined up, lit up. Leo rules the solar plexus. So this is the more, again, knowing yourself is the big message here. So let's read about calcification, or getting in touch with the real you. All right, so the title of this card is Heat, Fire, and Desire. Calcinato is the great alchemical operation of fire. It occurs when there is enough heat in the vessel to transform the nature of that which is solid or fixed. So maybe that's why I got the imagery here of the water being boiled by the flame. So it's a changing a state of matter from solid to liquid to gas. So in this case, liquid to gas. So from emotional liquid to gas, which is air, reason, and logic. All right. How does calcinato begin? With a tiny glimmer, an urge or desire that builds into robust flame on a psychic level. This stage may be an uprising of emotion that has been repressed or dismissed. It wants something big to change, to be brought to the light and purified. So the overflowing of the cup, coming to the surface, things bubbling up until they burst, till they overflow, which is typical of the 29th degree of Cancer. Something has been repressed or dismissed. It wants something big to change, to be brought up to the light and purified, perhaps a flawed ideology, institution, or outlook. Frustration and anger are wondrous change makers if their heat is channeled with space, time, and awareness. The transformation that occurs from calcinato is rarely harmonious. It requires commitment and a willingness to sit through discomfort as old patterns fall into the ashes. The flame initiates sacred change, and eventually the phoenix rises. So, as the sun enters the 5th house of Leo, of creativity, this could be you recreating yourself, or rediscovering your self-identity, coming out of this crucible, this phoenix rising from its ashes of emotional despair that you might have been felt like you were drowning in emotions, or the drama or baggage of other people that you've been carrying along too much. You could be burning that off physically in the form of weight or calories, because I feel like in some cases, weight gain can be taking like the physical manifestation of ingesting others' emotions or trauma, or swallowing your own trauma and not getting it out or sweating it out. And that could be important. Maybe spending time in a sauna or in the gym to burn that off and feeling physically freer as part of the actual transformation process in a physical way. The divine flame resides within, and it is yours to tend to. That said, doing so patiently and with support will lead to change that is holy rather than hasty. Fire has been used in rituals across all cultures, religions, and eras. Honor the element of fire today in a literal or metaphorical way. All right, so I think that is all I have for you today, Pile 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you feel called to look at another pile, you may do so at this time. If not, take care, have a beautiful new moon, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.